What is up, college baseball fans? Welcome to another episode of the 11.7 podcast, weekend number 5 recap episode. We got Jack, we got Dimitri. This episode is sponsored by Home Field Apparel. 15% off using our promo code CWS25. They just released a ton of college basketball stuff like bomber jackets and hoodies, t-shirts, all that fun stuff. So check it out, homefieldapparel.com, and use our promo code 15% off with CWS25. We will start here. Welcome, boys.
Hey,
I didn't watch hardly any college baseball this weekend. Hand up. Didn't do it. It was my son's 3rd birthday. Drove down to Jacksonville, went to the zoo, had a fabulous time. Enjoyed the hell out of it. And it was kind of nice not checking my phone every 3 seconds, following Twitter, watching games. I mean, I probably watched a combined 15 innings in the last 3 days total.
and that's probably more.
12 of them came today.
And that's probably more than 99% of burner Twitter's weekend innings view count. SEC burner Twitter is insane, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So anyways, I cannot go in depth this week. I will probably throw on a couple games, archived games on ESPN Plus later tonight, trying to fall asleep. And tomorrow, Monday, usually a pretty slow day, college baseball world. I might catch up with some SEC and ACC games. But yeah, I mean, other than score watching on warrennolan.com, that was about it. So I'll let you guys have the fun in this episode. How about you interview me?
All right. Well, before we do that, double hand up. If you want to know about the women's March Madness bracket, I'm your guy. Did not also watch a lot of college baseball this weekend. So, Dimitri, I kick it to you, sir. How did you watch college baseball this weekend?
Can I kick it right back to Ben and just keep going in this circle? No, I watched Friday. Mainly, to be honest, guys, and big and mid-major guys we are, I watched a lot of SEC this weekend. Opening weekend, I just wanted to see big boys versus big boys this weekend. Saturday, I was busy all day packing and getting my shit together, getting my life together, and all that stuff. And then I watched pretty much all day today. But I watched mainly SEC. I just wanted to see high-end broadcast in the big stadium, the best of the best, facing the best of the best. I just wanted one of those weekends, right? I just watched high-level baseball, all 1 through 9, every team. I mean, where do we start? I mean, I don't know. Tennessee's the best damn team in the country, and I don't think anybody should think otherwise.
We've been saying it for 4 weeks now. There's a clear curve, bell curve in this sport, and right now Tennessee is playing better than everybody else combined. Not combined, but I was looking at the ELO rankings, which is kind of rivaled RPI. It goes back to chess rankings, and we've talked about it on the show before. It's on warrennolan.com. Well, if you win, you move up some points. If you lose, you go down some points based off of your opponent's ELO rankings. So it's a more linear version to understanding rankings rather than RPI, where there's a bunch of percentages and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Well, the difference between Tennessee at 1 and LSU at 2 is the same difference as it is from LSU at 2 to Oregon at 10. Like, that's how big of a difference it is. It's like 0.67 points.
Dude, it's basically 60 points. I'm looking at it right now. 60 points. 50,
right.
57 points. Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's that alone tells, I think, a big portion of the story. And last episode, we talked about, will Tennessee have more run rule victories or losses this year? And right now it's 9-0. 9 run rules, 0 losses.
God, that's
crazy.
So absurd. And you know what's crazy? I'm getting that feeling. Remember in 2022 when Tennessee was just taking names and just kicking ass? Like, it was just like, this team is not losing. Super Regional came, Notre Dame beat them. This is that team, but with other teams also being way better than they were in 2022. I think the top end of college baseball is better than it was 3 years ago. Like, you have like LSU is probably number 1 if you take away Tennessee. I mean, there's just so many teams that I think are high end, really good compared to the rest. So yeah, I think Tennessee is better than that 22 team, and it's not even close.
I still think Florida's really good. I was
I do
looking back
too.
at the box scores and like the games were close for the most part, except for that 10-0 game. It got away from Florida, but yeah, I don't think you can discount Florida as being not very good. I think they're still a top 7 to 8 team in the country. I wish I would have. That's actually the game I'm going to watch tonight. I'm going to watch the Friday night game, Tennessee, Florida, on ESPN Plus after the podcast. I want to see what they look like, eyeball test.
So go ahead, Jack.
I was going to say, I think they're a really elite team. I said it on our pod going into the weekend that I think if these games were played in Gainesville, I think it's a little bit more competitive. Like, I just think 57-9 is the rec. That's what they went in 2022. They went 57-9, right? So by our over under game over run, like, I don't know if I see 10 losses on this Tennessee schedule. Like, remember that Tennessee Tech team that had like 9 guys all hitting over 350 in the Super against Texas? I can't remember. Was it 18?
That was 18, yeah.
Yeah, that's what this offense is doing right now. The only thing, in factoid, I came to this podcast readily and prepared for. Their OPS as a team is over 1,000, right? Like, they have 8 guys with an OPS over 1,000, 3 with an OPS over 1,500, which is Charlie Cotton territory a year ago, right? They've hit 53 home runs in 20 games, boys. They've walked 155 times and they've struck out 136. They're hitting bombs and they're only swinging at strikes. Like, they are terrifying. Like, it is insane to think that the guys that they had on last year's team that were like crucial youngsters on that 2022 team, like Christian Moore and Blake Burke, and you lose Cal Stark, like their entire offense is brand new outside of Hunter Hensley, Dean Curley. And I swear they got better. Like, they legitimately got more talented, and it's disgusting. They're so good.
The one flaw, though, with Tennessee is they have no true road games this year other than SEC road games. Like, no midweeks, no preseason or pre-conference. Everything's at home, which I guess you can do if you're Tennessee, especially coming off a national championship. Like, hey, you coming to us. Like, we're the big dogs in town. I would have loved to see them. I know they had the neutral site games in Houston at Minute Maid Park, but, well, Daikin Park now.
They haven't played a road game yet. Besides Shriner in Houston, they haven't played a road game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that's a part of the plan, though. Like, he's not worried about – he's completely, like – he's not worried about going and winning on the road anymore. He's worried about getting his team tournament ready. He like wants to see how they'll react in a regional setting, and that's exactly what those early tournaments are.
So here's what I noticed all weekend is Tennessee bullpen. First of all, their starters are outstanding. Marcus Phillips is probably the best Saturday guy in the country. I mean, he'd probably be a Friday night guy for 99.9% of the team in the country. Liam Doyle wasn't at his best from a pitch efficiency, whatever. He made a. I don't think he got 5 complete innings. He went 4 2/3. They just rolled out 1, 2, 3, 4 guys out of the bullpen. It was just gasoline, filling up the strike zone. And that was the difference in this whole series. Tennessee's bullpen, which is better than Florida. When you get to the 3, 4, 5th time through the lineup, this lineup is too good. So you need to be that much better in the bullpen to beat this team over a 9-inning baseball game. And I think that would be 100% the only difference. Liam Peterson, they wore his ass out Friday because their lineup is so good. 3rd, 4th time through the lineup, when Florida went to the bullpen, it was bang, bang, bang. And then Saturday, 9-run 7th inning, it just gets out of hand quick when you don't have a lot of depth in the pen. Nate Snead, 97, 99, whatever, out of the bullpen. He's got a little 3/4 slot. Like, he's probably the best closer in the country. It's just not even close.
Did he go? He went 3 2/3 on Friday, and his last pitch was 98.
Yeah, I mean, and he came in through another inning today and slammed the door. So it's like he is a versatile closer. He's not just a 1-inning blow gas, blow the tank out, empty the tank out. He's a you know how every baseball game's got that one moment where you win or lose the game most of the time. Bases loaded in the 5th inning, no out. You win and lose games right there. Nate Snead's going to come in the 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th inning in that moment, and he's going to take them all the way to the finish line, win or lose. So, yeah, I mean, he's an X factor for this team. I just think every facet of the game, this team is just so good.
Now, let me ask you this, and I don't want to spend too much time on just Tennessee alone, but does D1 baseball move them up to number 1 in the ranking, or do they keep LSU?
Eat your pride. You swallow your pride and just put the best team in the country at number 1.
It kind of feels like they're going to commit to the bit, right?
They're
Yeah.
going to 100% commit to it. They're going to say, "Oh well, LSU didn't enough to lose it."
Shout out to the boys at D1. I think keep pissing people off, honestly.
How did LSU play against Missouri? I didn't watch anything.
They
Didn't keep
kicked
up
their
with
ass,
anything.
They kicked their ass.
Red Dog walked him. I did see this. I did see this going around. It might be something we could talk about. Is it? I don't, maybe it's being fueled, not necessarily by history, right, or tradition, but more so because Twitter's become such a volatile place, especially for college baseball. Is it the best rivalry in baseball right now? Like Texas,
The fan bases, maybe.
For the fan bases, it feels like.
Well,
it, right?
no, dude, I don't want to discredit. Like, Arkansas fan bases are the best of the best when it comes to Twitter, and they've been the best for a decade plus now. Those guys can rally and
Tennessee Twitter is by far the most
Vol Twitter
vicious animal doggy dog world I've ever seen.
I love them. They're nuts. I love them.
Yeah. But anyway, so Ben, where do you want to go next?
Yeah, so I have a whole layout of this show, and it was mostly like we're not going to go in depth with a lot of this stuff. We're obviously going to talk about the mid-major top 25, which we just released. We had to wait until the Hawaii versus UC Santa Barbara game was over. Hawaii wins the series. Huge win. It sucks that they lost to UC Riverside last weekend, 2 out of 3, because if they would just win 2 out of 3 against Riverside, this would be the 4th check mark of getting Hawaii a regional out of about 8 check marks. They'd be halfway there. Now you got to kind of go through some hurdles. But I mean, shoot, still huge series win for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Other than that, we're going to talk about Rice firing Jose Cruz Jr. as the head coach. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have nine candidates that have not been, and this is purely from my brain, no speculation, no inside knowledge of anything. And these are not names you're seeing on Twitter. This is me being a Rice baseball fan growing up and who I would want to see recharge the Owls and bring them back to greatness. In fact, we'll do that segment here next. And then at the very end, we'll talk SEC, ACC, Big 12, Big 10, and then let's build a bracket. The selection show came out for the March Madness, but we're going to build the bracket exactly how we did it last year, and that is who has a better baseball team. And Tennessee will win this bracket. I'll put it down right now.
Yeah.
We might have to work backwards. It'll be fun though.
Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, cool. So Rice needs a new leader. You've seen some names out there. I think the no-brainer name and who it's probably going to be is David Pierce, former Rice assistant, goes to Tulane, then becomes the head coach at Texas. He gets run out of town last year when Texas thinks like, oh, we want to go get Jim Schlossnagle. It's paid off for Texas. That's a no-brainer. Schloss looks like the best coach in the world after leaving Texas A&M to go to Texas. But now he's a assistant at Texas State. So he's head coach material. That's probably who's going to get the job. And I'm sure the boosters and athletic administration want him. If I'm David Pierce, I'd take the head coaching job at Rice. Might as well. But there might be something bigger out there. He still has the University of Texas on his resume. So I don't know if that might be Missouri or it might be somebody else, but he could get back in the SEC or Big 12. Here's some names.
Hold on, Ben, before you go, can I say something?
Yeah.
Can I foreshadow something, Dimitri? I think you know where I'm going with this. Twitter's become a copycat league. Ben, you have beautifully laid out the fact that this is complete hypothetical. This is what you want as a fan. I am willing to bet my life savings that during the next week that Ben the Needle Upton is going to have people using you as a secondhand source of I am hearing.
Please don't.
It's going to happen. People are going to take your hypotheticals and then they're going to make them reality. I promise.
Yeah, I'm hearing you mentioned it before the show. Like that's the worst phrase in sports.
It's
I'm hearing from
It's
I'm
happening.
hearing from here. Like,
And
dude,
when I
I'm
see
not
it,
a
you're
sports.
not.
I'm hearing from Ben Upton. I love this. I love
This
go.
is from my brain and my brain only. Who do I want to see put on the Rice Owl uniform and lead the team back to greatness?
Drum roll. Here we go, man.
Number one is without question Josh Elander, head assistant at. Well, maybe not, I don't even say. Would you say head assistant at Tennessee? I know all the guys there are pretty equal, but he's the dude behind Vitello, and we've seen him be ejected out of games before. Like he's very vocal. In my opinion, the best assistant coach in college baseball, and this might be below Elander because he's an SEC head coach eventually. But if you just go to Rice for 2 years, 3 years, make them back into a contender, you could get any job in America. I would love to see Josh Elander head coach at Rice. I think he has exactly what it takes. And it's not going to happen, though. It will not happen. But I want to see it.
I love it.
As a Rice fan, I want it to happen.
Most attractive people.
These other two, the next two names probably won't happen either, but I think there's a little bit more possibility. Cliff Godwin at East Carolina maybe needs like a change of pace, and like I know Rice could probably pony up some more money, and to get a big guy like that, it won't happen because I think he might be at ECU for life, but I could see it almost. I could almost see Godwin after spending 20 years at ECU being like, I need something. I need something new. So that's a random name I'd love to see happen. It will not happen. Here's another name, Lane Burroughs, Louisiana Tech. I'd love to see him in that Rice. Just get the culture right. Lane Burroughs is a culture guy, and Rice has no culture right now. He would be somebody I would immediately want to see. Probably won't happen. He's a king in Ruston, Louisiana. Here's some more like realistic names that I could see. I don't know, falling through. Rob Childress, former A&M head coach. Now he's a pitching coach at Nebraska. Corey Muscara from Wake Forest. He's probably above this job too. He's a future ACC, SEC head coach, but I don't know. Like he's a smart guy. He's the one that really developed that, or I guess he foreshadowed and built that Wake Forest pitching lab. Like he was the brains behind a lot of that. Nate Yeske, the Texas A&M pitching coach.
Wait,
Texas
no.
ties.
Yeske, the pitching coach? I thought it was
No.
LSU.
Yeah.
LSU. That's I
Yeah,
was like, hold. He used to be at A&M though. That's what threw me off. Right?
Yeah.
Or before the pitching lab guy.
Yes. Okay.
Arm farm.
Done.
Sorry, arm farm.
Max.
And there's two more. Andy Stankiewicz probably won't leave USC, but I love him. Thought he was great. And then Ben Orloff, UC Irvine.
Oh.
Maybe Rice can pay him more money.
All right, Ben. Now that you listed those names, can I ask you some questions about this Rice?
Wait. There's one more name. One more name.
It's a Texas guy. He went the whole list and didn't name a single Texas guy.
Nope.
Really?
It's not a Texas guy. It's our guy, Roland Fanning.
Yeah.
Could you imagine him dealing with the Rice administration, just bullying those nerds around? It would be the greatest thing ever. Bring Roland Fanning to Rice. That's my number one.
There's no way the boomers at Rice could handle Roland Fanning going up to the box, swinging it, and saying, "I'm buying beers for everybody."
That needs to happen, though.
They need life, and he is life.
Do you know the last crazy psycho coach that Rice hired was Wayne Graham? Absolute psychopath. Get me Roland Fanning in a Rice uniform.
Here's my question for you. I have three questions. Here's the first one. And I want you to answer this not as a college baseball guy, as a Rice fan. Does it take a special someone to go to Rice?
Player or coach?
No, a coach. Like, does it take a special someone? Because all we heard the last two hires was Braga from Tennessee Tech wasn't a good fit because he doesn't have that country club aura vibe that Rice cultivates, I guess. And then Jose Cruz Jr. also didn't fit the aura of the country club vibe that Rice gives off of. Does it take a special someone? Because that's all I've heard for the last 5 years. It takes a special someone.
Yeah, I would say yes and no. Yes, is in like you got to be special to be a Division I baseball coach in
No,
some
I'm
aspect.
talking about in terms of from Rice. Let's just compare the difference between Rice and I don't know, freaking Sam Houston. I'm just saying two mid-major schools. Obviously, one has way more history and way more pedigree than the other one. But like Cal State Fullerton and Rice, can the same head coach succeed at both schools?
That's a good question.
That is
That's
a good
basically
question.
what I'm asking.
Good question. Good question.
Yeah, I think the biggest obstacle or biggest hurdle is like getting the right players who are academically qualified to get into Rice, but also like sell them on like, hey, I know we're not what we used to be, but we can get back to where this is. Like when Rice baseball is good, it's good for the sport. It's the same thing with Notre Dame football, USC football, Miami football, and some of those blue blood like Rice. When the Owls are good, it's good for the whole sport. So I don't really know how to answer your question.
So,
I
okay,
think
now with that in mind, should Rice go after the coaching tree of David Esquer at Stanford or go after Pollard and his coaching tree at Duke? Some of these more academic schools that these guys already know how to cherry pick a smart kid and a good baseball player. Does that make sense? You see where I'm going with this?
yeah, it really depends on like what Rice wants to do. I still hear things all the time that they're not like the athletic department and the business office administration just does not care about baseball anymore, and so the money's not
Obviously, they
being
do.
yeah, but like I don't think they're getting the proper funding and the support from the university and all of that right now. I think there's a big
So,
disconnect.
so if they don't care, and this is where I lean on y'all because y'all know the sport and the history of it far more than I do. When's the last time a coach was fired in the middle of a
That's
season?
exactly what I was going to say.
Like they clearly care, or something happened, and I don't want to allude to that, but like it's a wild move. Like we haven't even gotten to conference play yet.
Was he fired though, or
I think
didn't
he
it
was just
say
done.
mutually parted ways?
No,
Yeah,
they said the headline was Rice had
change of leadership.
a change of leadership in the baseball program, which means change of leadership means let go, fired, or they gave him the option to resign.
Maybe he was done with it. Maybe he wasn't feeling the support and was like, yeah. So to your point, Ben, like you need a rebel. You need a rebel, right? Like if the school doesn't care, like yes, Dimitri, to your point, I'll throw another name out there that I just kind of thought about. But like when you think of top assistants in the country, like if you're trying to go the Rice way and you want someone that's like existed and thrived in a culture like that, right? Like a Stanford or a Duke.
Carolina.
I think this hire has to be someone that understands the landscape right now. Like to go get a David Pierce, like David Pierce is a phenomenal baseball coach. And people sleep on the fact that he actually won a lot of Texas. He just didn't get to Omaha, which is the standard, right? Like, so yes, that'd be a great hire. But to me, you have to be really comfortable being uncomfortable. And I don't think that's like to go get a former P4 guy would make sense. So to go get like a young assistant, right? Like an Elander or a Wiener or a Moose at Wake. How about a name this one? This is a good one. And this guy's a beast. And they fought over him big time. How about Ty Blankenmeyer at Duke, now at Vanderbilt? Tim Corbin picked him
That's
right
a
off.
good name.
And then dude, he's a beast. Like so unbelievably respected, knows the landscape, recruits his ass off. Like if you go get a young, hungry guy, right, to be his first head coaching job in the college level, like I'm cool with that. Like if I'm Rice, I'm like, or any school that's going to look to hire this offseason, like in today's landscape, it's so different. You need someone who's got their finger on the pulse of it. So like you go get a young, hungry guy like that, or you go get a damn rebel like Roland Fanning. I want him to scare the piss out of that administration.
Yo, I think we can all agree on this. By the way, I love that name.
Yeah.
Duke Vandy fits the mold of Rice in the academic athletic. He knows what it takes for the NIL and the collective. But here's what this hire will tell us everything we need to know about Rice baseball. If they
I agree.
They make another lazy hire, just some up and coming mid major guy, or do they swing for the fence and go get a well established right hand man, power 4 SEC guy? That will tell me everything I need to know. Because Jose Cruz, no disrespect to that guy, he's a Rice legend. They try let's have one of the guys that knows the Rice standards and Rice program, the expectations. We're going to stay in house with this one. Hindsight 2020, it was a bad hire in this era of college baseball. They got left behind really fast. Maybe he just wasn't fit. Maybe whatever it was. That was just, I don't want to say lazy. It was just more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like where they can't get mad at you for that hire. It was one of those. It was a safe hire.
Yeah, it's safe.
Like a fireproof hire.
Yeah. This needs to be we are making a statement. And I think this hire will tell us everything that we need to know. I will never talk about Rice baseball again if they make a lazy hire.
I have a statement. I got a statement hire. College basketball did it with Doug Gottlieb. He didn't have any coaching experience. Why don't we go to the journalism route? Now the next Rice baseball coach, Ben Vanito Upton. Man, the skipper that knows it all from Texas.
I wouldn't turn it down. I'll tell you that right now.
Dimitri, if Ben got the job, you quit baseball, you be the pitching coach, and I get to live out a lifelong dream as the bench coach.
I would.
We bring some eyeballs.
It would be such a no-brainer. Hire me, right? Get Jack as the bench coach, Dimitri as pitching coach. The amount of dirty laundry I have on Kendall Rogers, he would give us the best press of all time. He would write everything I would tell him to write. And yeah, we would just instantly, I'd probably go and try to hire away Roland Fanning from Austin Peay just to be the associate head coach, run the show ultimately.
Great hire.
Jack, look at Ben suddenly flexing a massive Danny biceps over there.
His flow's looking good too.
That bicep.
Guys, we would go. I mean,
my camera's flipped, so I thought it was this one, but it was this
that one. You're just kind of putting up there in a little camera. Hey, check it out.
Guys, I think it's a must hire.
All right. Anyway, so who is the Paul Manieri hire for Rice as it was for South Carolina? Who is it?
Well, that would be
I think you could go down. It would not surprise me one bit. Like they're going to offer it to Pierce. He'll be the first one they offer it to. No doubt about it. It wouldn't surprise me if they went down the Major League Baseball route. Go get somebody like Joe Girardi has always been a name that has floated in the college ranks. Dude, go try to pay AJ Hinch for the Detroit Tigers enough money to say, all right, I'm done. AJ Hinch would be an unbelievable hire, instant splash.
Okay, I don't want to spend all night on this, but I have one more hypothetical.
I kind of do. Let's just talk about Rice for the next hour.
What if Rice goes we're going to make this a professional baseball team, basically, because college baseball and Power 4 SEC already heading in that direction. What if Rice goes, we're getting a big league manager, we're getting a minor league pitching coordinator, pitching coach, whatever, and we are going to run this like a professional baseball organization? Now you might get a couple more players that are in there that are like, I just want to get ready for Pro Bowl. I just want to come here and ready for Pro Bowl.
Pull the I forget the guy's name at San Diego back when Chris Bryant was there, but he was open and honest. We're not trying to make it to Omaha. We're just trying to get these guys ready for the major leagues. We want to develop them, and if we win games, we win games. And he was a hell of a recruiter, and they won a ton of games.
They should get Anthony Rendon. He's not playing much baseball anymore.
No, dude, we're not doing that shit again. No, we already did it once.
It was clearly a joke. That guy hates baseball.
Hey, you want to know an outside name that I considered putting on this list?
Do it.
I know he's retired, but go get Coach Barry from Southern Miss. Start at the ground up, dude. Get him out of retirement. I know he probably has zero interest in going to Rice, but talk about a guy that would be a Manieri-like hire.
Okay. How about this? If you guys want to stay in that world, no longer the AD that hired Paul Manieri. Ray Tanner, welcome back to the dugout, big guy.
Instant national championship.
I think that's what Rice needs to do. Just come out and say it. Just say the quiet part out loud. We're going to run this like a professional baseball organization, and that's it. We don't care. We don't care about anything else. We're just going to run this like a professional baseball organization, and that's it. If we win games, we win games. And
I'm almost talking myself into Vitello right now. I think it could happen.
How big is the bag? How big is the bag
all
gotta
right,
be?
all right, all right.
Like Vitello wants to be in a big city. He's going to win back-to-back national championships this year and last year. Like go buy a nice house inside the loop of Houston. It'll be beautiful.
Okay, let's go. Let's just get back to a weekend recap.
Reality.
Let's get back to the weekend recap. I think Rice. I think this hire is make it or break it for Rice baseball. To be honest.
You said, all right, let's get back to the weekend recap.
So I was
Do
trying to have this
Death
conversation.
penalty for Rice if they don't get a good
Ben,
hire.
take the lead. I don't like doing this. I want you to lead like you always do. Go. What's next?
Yes, sir. Dude, you want me to recap the weekend? I didn't watch much. I'll tell you this: Alabama's the real deal. Going into College Station with A&M already having their backs against the wall, and you'd like to think for a team as talented as A&M is on paper, when their backs against the wall, they're gonna win at least one at home, at least one game at home. Defend the home turf, even if you're not playing your best baseball. It doesn't matter if you play the Los Angeles Dodgers. You're going to win one at home. And Alabama just went in there and played clean baseball, much cleaner than A&M did defensively, and at least box score wise, they did. And they hit with runners in scoring position and like had those big moments that Dimitri referred to earlier in the episode. The go ahead grand slam, like Will Hodo, another big time moment for him this year. He's had multiple.
I think that Will Hodo grand slam was backbreaking. I think A&M, like they're already struggling. They're already having all this attention for underwhelming performance. That Will Hodo grand slam, you could just see it. It was backbreaking for Texas A&M. And Jack has been. He can go ahead and say right now what he's doing with buy high, buy low, whatever stock market. I think A&M done, guys. It was like that. You know that moment where you're just like, holy shit, they're done.
Best case scenario before Jack goes. In my head, best case scenario is Florida of 2024. A&M goes 28-27. They win a game or two in the SEC tournament, and they squeak in as a 3 seed and then catch fire. That's how I see them. Like 2024 Florida came in with a ton of hype, best player in the country, blah, blah, blah. And they got swept by Missouri last year. Not good. So that's my best case scenario right now for the Aggies. I think they're almost done.
All right, let's break down so if they're 10-9, they're now 0-3 in the SEC, right? So Florida finishes a game above 500 last year. They're a bubble team. They still get in. Yeah, they get into this thing. Like you'd still be scared of them. They have 2 guys hitting over 300 right now. 2. The potential number 1 overall pick in the draft is hitting 231. Struck out twice more than he's walked. He's going to wake up. Here's why I'm buying every stock that the market will allow me to tonight or tomorrow morning when it opens back up at 9 a.m. Friday night, tie ball game, back-to-back home runs. That's backbreaking. How do they respond the next thing? Tie ball game, into the 9th. Will Hodo, Mr. Alabama baseball. Coach Vaughn told us, grand slam, game-winning grand slam. Backbreaking. How do they respond today? A 2-0 loss at home. The offense has been abysmal. Michael Early was the hitting coach for this team, who we had proclaimed maybe the best offense we'd ever seen until you have to play Tennessee in the national championship. They return a lot of the same pieces. I'm not saying it's like a pick to click and I'm waiting for something to change, but the entire approach has to change. Like I feel like you can see all the weight on the world and they're like on their shoulders. And at one point in time, if they just choose to like start playing happy again and go, well, the worst case scenario could just happen. Like we just lost 3 most unimaginable ways like possible. I'm buying all the stock in the world. They go to Vanderbilt next week. Then they host Kentucky before they take on a brutal April. April, they go to Tennessee, to Arkansas, and to Texas in April. So what I'm telling you is that to finish off March, if I see them win weekend series at Vanderbilt and at home against Kentucky, I feel so good about my picks.
If they don't, then I'm in big trouble. But if the weekend arms were struggling, I think it'd be a different conversation. Like, oh man, like they really miss Max Wiener and they really miss like a lot of those arms. It's the same pieces offensively. All I'm doing is relying on guys who hit over 340 in the SEC a year ago to just not hit below 250. Like that's it. So yes, they lost in heartbreaking fashion. I need their basketball team to lose in March here soon. That way those fans will get back out to Bluebell in like strong ways because it hasn't felt like a Bluebell crowd. But yes, I still feel good about the Ags. Early's an OG 11.7 guy. I'm buying tomorrow morning.
Yep.
I want to put on the record that Ben Upton is out on the Aggies. So hopefully they'll start winning now.
Here they come.
Anytime that I'm high on the Aggies, they suck. When I'm low on them, they're good. I'm out. I hit the panic button 2 weeks ago. Done.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Oklahoma. First SEC series on the road in Columbia. They battled it out to the 27th inning of the weekend. Beat South Carolina, take the series. Texas goes on the road to the Carnegie Hall of College Baseball. Sweep Mississippi State. I'm not saying it's super impressive, but I still think a road sweep in the SEC is really hard to do. And everyone will say, oh, Lamona's, this team sucks. Lamona's that. Road sweep in the SEC is one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah, I don't think Mississippi State sucks.
I don't either.
I think they're going to be just fine. Texas is just a wagon right now.
Yeah.
I think they'll be just fine, but a lot of people are not happy, and rightfully so. Mississippi State should be a top 5 team in the country year in and year out. That's just the standard that they have there. And 2 more shout-outs outside of the SEC. Arizona State's first Big 12 series. They go on the road and beat TCU. And Arizona goes on or sweeps Cincinnati, first Big 12 series. Stanford, a lot of teams that have joined new conferences have really made statements early. Stanford, 5-1 in the ACC. Are they 5-1 or 4-2? They beat the
5-1.
They beat North Carolina, swept Duke today, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of these teams switching conference have a lot of early success in conference play, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how bad North Carolina looks right now. UNC was a team that I said would be number 1 ranked at some point this season. This is my preseason prediction. 2-4 in the ACC. Series losses to Stanford and who did they lose? Louisville.
This weekend.
How about Louisville? The Cardinals freaking look like their 2017 to 2019 self.
16-3.
Yeah, and they've beat Texas. They beat them opening day. That's a good team. Dan McDonald's back, baby.
Hey, when the Cards are good, I would say just like Rice baseball, when the Cards are good, it's good for college baseball. They have great regional, super regional atmospheres in Louisville, Kentucky. Hey, one more team I forgot to mention. UCLA, 5-1, first year in the Big Ten. Rose Series win at Maryland, swept Nebraska at home. God, I mean, I think the Pac-12, I think the former Pac-12 is going to really impress people because people always said the Pac-12 stinks, Pac-12 this, Pac-12 that. Stanford might be the clubhouse favorite along with Wake Forest, Florida State to be a favorite to win the ACC now. I mean, I wouldn't be scared to say, hey, Stanford can win the ACC this year.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
So,
who's going to win the Big 12 this year?
Arizona State, dude. I love Arizona State.
Is it Arizona State? Because, and by the way, like thoughts and prayers to everybody in the Stillwater fires. I did see that on the news. They only played 1 game this weekend against West Virginia.
Yeah.
West Virginia wins the game. It was. I actually watched the tail end of it. They were throwing like Saturday starters, Sunday starters. Both teams were throwing their dudes today, knowing it was a 1-game series. I liked what I saw a lot from West Virginia. I think they could potentially be a team that sneaks around into the year, wins the Big 12 potentially.
West Virginia,
Arizona State looks good. Arizona looks good. I'll tell you a team box score wise that looked pretty solid against a team that I was higher on than most, but Texas Tech bounced back.
I knew you were going to say
On
this.
the road, dude. 3-0 on the road, sweep Houston. The Red Raiders had a tough non-conference schedule when you look at it.
Bro,
The conference play.
3-11 entering this weekend. 3-11 entering this weekend.
You were so out on them last week. That's what makes it so much better. Out. Texas Tech is dead. 3-0. So back. Lubbock. Regional ready.
Hey, let's stay in the Big 12. What do you say? Let's stay in the Big 12 a little bit right now since we're talking about it. UCF goes on the road first weekend at BYU. People don't realize it's hard to go on the road to BYU and win a series there. They're not bad. And I think it was like snowing right up to first pitch yesterday or something like that. UCF, Kansas looks great so far. Texas Tech, Kansas State, Arizona. I mean, I think the Big 12, top to bottom, is the best it's ever been.
Yeah, it hurts that they don't have Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
But if you just say Arizona State, replace Texas and Oklahoma, I'm not saying it's equally replacing, but I think competition-wise, the Big 12 looks as competitive as it's ever been.
I think what it does is you lose the name star power. Like, how many names do you know in the Big 12 right now? I think from a media standpoint, like, we have to do a better job telling those stories. But when you like are watching them on linear TV against Texas and OU, like where you get like you start to learn the guys a little bit better. Like Kansas State, for example, like they go 3-0, and I don't really know a ton about Utah, but Kansas State's challenged the hell out of themselves in their non-con slate moving into Big 12 play. So, I still feel good if you're asking me about like my TCU pick. Like that's a tough, to drop 2 against Arizona State after winning on Friday night. But it feels like they're still the cream of the crop, the pedigree of this conference.
They've got Jack Haggs 2.0 and Noah Franco.
He's impressive.
The dude is legit. I watched him all weekend outside of yesterday. I watched him all weekend. He is electric.
We were talking about this before we started the pod. If you're still listening 40 plus minutes in, you're a college baseball degen like us, go look at this kid's social media. Like, I had 2 years ago when I asked Tony Vitello in Omaha, like, changed my life about like, why is the game as good as it's ever been? He was like, facilities, social media, like everything that encompasses our sport, like it's at an all-time high. Like the way that these kids are able to recruit themselves out, like through social media, the way that these kids work out, right? Like high school kids used to not work out and look like this. He is the epitome of that. The kid's got like 17,000 followers like on Instagram. He's like GQ as hell. He's built like a 25-year-old that's playing like in the big leagues. Like he is a freak. Like I feel like the bench warmers, like birth certificate, Noah Franco. Like, I don't believe that you're a teenager. BS. Like, this kid's a freaking animale.
I love it. Yeah, he looked great. He had a big time home run today. Threw 4 and 2/3 inning, 95, 97.
Yeah,
just looks just like Hag. I'm excited. He looks just like him.
The fuck are these guys eating? Like, seriously, they're huge.
It's nuts what they look like, dude. It didn't look like that 5-10 years ago.
Dude, I said this earlier about like OA and like the draft getting cut down, so like the sport is more talented than it's ever been, right? 5 years ago, dude, 2 years ago, this kid should not be playing college baseball. He is a problem with a metal bat in his hand. Like I saw like on one of his last posts, he was hit with that Connor Griffin kid who was a top 10 pick for the Pirates. Like, no, Franco should have been right there. What the hell are we doing, Major League Baseball?
That's funny. Before we transition, best team not in the SEC right now.
Ooh.
I think you could probably float around 7 names between Florida State, Clemson. What'd you say?
Oregon State.
Yeah. Oregon State, Clemson, Florida State. Wake Forest has been impressive so far. They look good.
You want to get a mid-major in there?
Oregon is 100% in that conversation.
Oh, yeah, Oregon. Forgot about them. Do we still believe in Virginia? A team with the talent, but the record isn't quite there?
Wait, did Virginia lose the series at Cal, or did they win today?
They won today.
They won the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you can put Virginia in this conversation right now.
Do we want to put UCLA in the conversation?
I think possibly, but I
What's
think
their
Oregon.
record right now? Let's look it up.
What are you asking?
UCLA's record.
UCLA is 16-4.
They just swept. They had a 4-0 week. They beat Irvine midweek and then swept Nebraska.
They're number 13 RPI.
UCLA looks great. I told you guys last episode they look bigger than ever offensively. They look great.
Do we want to throw Louisville in the conversation?
No, not yet. But I think Louisville is right there, knocking on the door of national relevance and people talking about them. But I think Oregon State, and Florida State are my three. One of those three.
Do we want to throw Arizona in there? A team that has won 12 of their last 13. Their only loss was Tennessee.
Who do you like better, Arizona or Arizona State?
Right now, probably Arizona.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I'll take the head-to-head. They beat Arizona State. Yeah.
Yeah, but
that was a midweek.
I don't know. It's just tough to tell because non-biasedly, I think the top 4 teams in the country are all SEC teams.
4.
Maybe 5.
Yeah.
Tennessee, LSU, Arkansas, Georgia, Florida State. I mean, it depends on if you like Florida State or Georgia better.
You didn't even say, by the way.
I think Florida's better than Florida State.
I could say the first 7 because you didn't even say Texas, dude. Like I think Texas
is in there too. Holy crap, man!
I do think that your question though, to me, it's only 2 teams. Like I know Florida State hadn't like really beaten anybody yet, but like based off of last year, right? Like I know they lost a lot. I'll take last year's pedigree. To me, it's Clemson. I don't think anybody has done what Clemson's done in the non-con and has done it as impressive as they have. 19-2. They're making it look easy. They swept South Carolina, and South Carolina was really competitive against OU this weekend. Like, Dimitri, I didn't mean to correct you, but like they went to 28 innings, right? Like they go to 10 today, and OU beat South Carolina in extras. Like that would have been a really big win for the Gamecocks. But OU's pitching on the weekends has been really good. So keep that in mind. Clemson sweeps that team in pretty easy fashion. Like Clemson to me has been the most impressive.
Good point. 100%. You probably have to take Clemson over Florida State purely on resume right now.
I would too. Like I would rank them higher.
I agree. You're right. You Clemson resume wise, you take them over Florida State today.
Yeah, and probably Oregon State. Even though I would say it's Clemson, Oregon State, and teams not named the SEC for me.
I think Oregon and Oregon State are neck and neck right now.
Really?
I really like this Oregon team. So I mean, I could be wrong, but I really like this Oregon team.
We'll see. How many SEC hosts do you think we're going to get?
10, 8 to 10.
I love it.
I think we're looking at a minimum of 8.
They just got 14 teams in March Madness. 14.
That's nuts. Yeah.
2 teams didn't get in.
Who are the 2 teams that didn't make it?
LSU, who denied an NIT bid, and South Carolina, who won 1 SEC game all year.
All right. Let's you guys want to talk non-Power 4 teams a little bit?
Yeah, pull up the mid-major top 25. That'll be a good reference point when you share your screen.
All right.
We'll talk about the mid-majors out there, non-Power 4.
All right, here we go.
The ranking teams 1 through 8 was impossible. It was really tough. You see Irvine remains at number 1. They're 14-5. And our mid-major power rankings is presented by Game Time Sidekicks. Go to GameTimeSidekicks.com, 15% off, promo code 11.7. I think they just released some new stuff, so check out their website, like new teams. They're great. They're
Use it every day. Rock.
So 1 through 8 was tough. Irvine, resume-wise, I think is really good. They've lost a couple midweeks, but I would take this team 2 out of 3, I think, against pretty much everybody else on this list to win a weekend series. Now, Southern Miss looks pretty dang good too. They lost today, win 2 out of 3 against Old Dominion, but in the midweek, we talked about it last episode, they beat a damn good UTRGV team. The Vaqueros are sitting at 16 in the rankings, 14-3. I thought that was impressive from Southern Miss. And then 3 Dallas Baptist, 4 Troy, 5 Coastal, 6 Western Kentucky, 19-1 this year. strength of schedule is not great, but to win 19 out of 20 games is, I mean, ask everybody in the country besides LSU and Tennessee.
Hey,
Hawaii.
Go ahead.
Hawaii wins 2 out of 3 against UC Santa Barbara, so we bumped them to 7. UC Santa Barbara right behind them at 8. I think if that series was in Santa Barbara,
Hawaii.
I would like the Gauchos would.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, and then Florida Atlantic, number 9, College of Charleston, 10. Anything you want to say? Florida Atlantic has come out of nowhere this year, 17-3. Did we have them preseason ranked? I want to say we did, but it was
We did not.
we didn't. Okay, did not. Wow.
We did not have them ranked. The only thing I want to say is it is so difficult to differentiate. You could argue Southern Miss at number 1. You could argue Dallas Baptist at number 1. Dallas Baptist midweek wins over Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. They played a tough UTSA team this weekend, almost swept them. So you could argue, Troy, you could argue Coastal. I think Coastal resume is just as good as anybody on this list.
Yeah.
They swept a good Georgia. I think Georgia Southern is not a bad team at all, and they swept them pretty easily this weekend. Western Kentucky, we're just going to have to wait and find out in 2 weeks when they play Dallas Baptist how good they are. But
the most impressive thing about Western Kentucky is I want to say the most runs they've given up in a game this year is 5. Pretty much every game they've given up 3 or less runs.
They're outscoring opponents by 6.2 runs per game.
That's nuts.
That's insane. Hawaii, don't lose the fucking series to Riverside in your top 5 right now. It's really simple. The Honolulu Regional would be in full-blown hysteria of excitement right now. But when they play amazing on the island, they just don't know how to play on the mainland. That's important. But yeah, I think pretty much that's it. FAU is impressive. Charleston, I think Charleston and Wilmington are just going to beat up on the CAA, and they're going to probably be 1-2 this year.
Jack, let me ask you something about Charleston. I don't think they've played their best baseball yet.
Not even close.
Is that safe to say?
Not even close. They haven't put, it feels like football, but they haven't put all 3 phases together. Right? This weekend, they threw it really well, but didn't swing it great. Whereas in weeks before, App State, they didn't throw it well, and then they swung it phenomenally. They had 18 runs on Saturday. So, when they piece this thing all together, it's going to be really dangerous. But I think their weekend arms are going to be as good as anybody stacked across anybody on this list. But I will say this, shout out to Dartmouth. Dartmouth is the best 0-8 team maybe in college baseball history. 3 losses to Texas, 3 losses to UVA, 2 losses with a game canceled against CFC, and all of them are by a run or 2. Ivy League fans, Dartmouth is going to be cool. Yeah, I watched them throw on Friday. They've got some lights out dudes.
All right, so 11 through 20 here. Tulane at 11, UNC Wilmington at 12, Grand Canyon 13, East Carolina 14, Liberty 15, Rio Grande Valley 16, ETSU 17. I think that's the highest they've ever been in our rankings. Southeastern Louisiana 18. Creighton comes into the rankings for the first time this year at 19. And then Cal Poly back in the rankings. I want to say they were in.
They weren't
preseason. Okay. Well, they come in with a pretty impressive resume, 12-6, but 2 of those losses were to A&M, and then they had, I think they lost 2 to UCLA or somebody else really good. So 5 of their 6 losses were impressive.
Wait, hold on, time out. It's funny how you classify A&M's losses as impressive when we were dog shitting on them 20 minutes ago.
On the road at A&M, whatever, dude. You know what I meant. All right, what do we have to say about these teams? What do we like?
Grand Canyon had a really tough week. 2 against Oregon, and then 2 against Oregon State. All on the road. I don't think many teams are surviving that.
No, but they held their own in every single one of those games. You took down Oregon, got beat up the next day, but Oregon State against their weekend arms, they were really competitive. My hot take is I think Grand Canyon's a top 5 team in this ranking by the end of the season.
Speaking of Oregon State, real quick, I talked to San Diego. They said that Oregon State's weekend arms are unbelievable. They said Arquette might be the best player they've seen in the country defensively. They said hitting wise, he'll get better as he, grows into his body and becomes a more professional hitter, but they said he's probably by far the best defensive shortstop they've seen, and their weekend arms were unbelievable.
Yeah, well, they have that freshman. What's his name? Dax Whitley, or what is?
Dax Whitley.
Yeah, Whitley.
Yeah, he's a freak. And then Cool Joe or Kel Joe, sorry, on Fridays, nasty.
So
Yeah, Oregon State's gonna be a problem.
yeah, East Carolina just floating right around that bubble where they're either going to shoot up these rankings or they're going to fall. It's like they're like just staying right at sea level.
It's exactly where Ben wants them.
Right where I want it. Like sneak
Right
into
where
the
they
tournament as a 3
Perfect.
Yeah, right where they want them.
please.
Did you get to the 20s yet?
No, I wanted to say this about UTRGV. I've been hyping them up a pretty good bit lately. They're number 2 in the RPI, and Edinburgh, Texas regional would make me just as happy as a Hawaii regional.
No, it
Do
wouldn't.
you
No.
know where it is? It's like on the border of Mexico and Texas. And I think you could probably see the border in a tall enough building. It's less than 10 miles from campus, but the stadium there is sick. And another thing, they have an incredible ESPN Plus broadcast. I think 4 or 5 camera angles, great broadcasters, clear picture, and they sell out. Like they're probably top 20 or top 30 in attendance in the country, if I had to guess. Like they get 2,500 to 4,000 people a game.
Yeah, I mean that's cool.
I heard Edinburgh and Honolulu almost eerily similar tourist attraction as well. UTRGV hosts, I'm there.
They're both as close to a foreign country as U.S. soil can be.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have any other nuggets on any of these teams.
Yeah, those you said it best. Like these teams are either gonna fall out of the rankings or shoot up the rankings. They're all in position to do so. 21 UAB, 22 Stetson, 23 Jacksonville State comes into the rankings. The Gamecocks. 24 San Jose State. They drop a good bit. They got swept by somebody this weekend. I forget who. It wasn't pretty. And then 25 Richmond Spiders, 18-2. 18-2 this year for the Spiders.
Yeah, I mean, not a hard schedule, but to win 18 out of 20 games is impressive. I don't care who you're doing it against. So, tip of the cap to Richmond. I want to say this about Stetson. I think they're going to be back. Jaden Hilton is back in that lineup, and he showed immediately how much they missed him the last 2 weeks. So I think Stetson will be just fine in the Atlantic Sun. Because my bet with you, the Mountain Dew off with Austin P this weekend was really important.
It's looking dicey.
Yeah. Extremely important to get those 2 wins against Gulf Coast.
I think so. Jacksonville State was a team that the record's not. It doesn't show how good they've been playing. 5 of their 7 losses were to either Ole Miss or Alabama. They're 0-5 against those teams, but they're taking care of business against everybody else. So the Gamecocks look good. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I have to say. Like San Jose State was borderline. Like they almost fell out, but they we'll leave them in for one more week.
Hey, someone just tweeted at us saying, "When is A&M going to be on this mid-major ranking?"
When they accept a bid into the Southland, then they can be eligible.
Yeah, that's our mid-major ranking. You got anything else, Ben, Jack?
Magical.
Hey, speaking of this ranking, did you guys see any of the Troy Louisiana series? It was spicy this weekend.
Yeah. Did you see the guys fist fighting in the concession stands behind home plate?
Did you see what Jose Torres, the catcher for Louisiana?
Yeah.
There was a play at the plate. Guy beat him by a mile. First base for Troy kind of bumped into him. He bumped him back a little bit harder. Said some words. Then dudes started fist fighting behind home plate in the concession stand line, which was hilarious. And then today we were chirping all game. Louisiana's now the finale, but I think Louisiana is going to be a good team in the Sun Belt when we get to May.
They'll be fine.
They'll be just
it's
fine.
Coach Daggs, dude. It's Coach Daggs. Like
I think they're way better than their record. They would be on this ranking if their record wasn't so bad.
Hey, did you guys see on Friday? That is a true rivalry. A lot of mutual respect, though. Did you see Skylar Meade? Shout out to the boys at the Rage and Review. They do great Louisiana everything content. Skylar Meade did their podcast before the series.
No way.
Dude, it was awesome, man.
What?
Awesome.
He did their podcast. Like, it was like Behind Enemy Lines is what the Rage and Review like tabbed it. Dude, it was fantastic. I love all the schools that like do hyper focused content on their teams, elite, and they know it far better than we do. But to get a guy that you're about to play and probably crap all over, like that was really cool. That was like the beauty of college baseball. Like you would never see a college basketball coach do that with their
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that pod.
Yeah,
And the Rage and Review guys are great.
Yeah, I listened.
Except for when it comes to illegal streams. That's like my bread and butter. I have a soft spot for illegal streams, and they violated my trust there.
Is it because you do illegal streams like on YouTube and we show them all the time? He said no comment.
So what do you guys want to do last? Last but not least, I know Dimitri's got to run here pretty soon. He flies back out to Italy in about, 8 hours? No, 10 hours?
7 for 11 hours.
Guys back.
11 hours. Dimitri will be back overseas, and we'll be doing the podcast from 3,000 miles apart. But you guys want to build a bracket?
Build a bracket. Let's show it. Let's do it in less than 5 minutes.
We don't have time for midweek. No, dude, guys.
No.
Let's do the bracket. Let's do the bracket Wednesday night.
No, bracket. People.
Oh, let's do the bracket Wednesday night.
Let's do the bracket Wednesday night. I need to do some research.
No research. We're doing zero research. That's the whole point.
Bracket Wednesday night, dude. We're already at an hour and 1 minute.
I want to do a bracket so bad in 2 minutes. We pick who would win in a baseball game.
Gambling degen, dude. You're such a degen.
Oh, brother. Hypothetical degen, brother. Get it right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Hypothetical.
Here, wait. What if we do this, Jack? Let's build. So on Wednesday's show, we'll build our own actual brackets.
Okay.
Or at least show our actual brackets, like who we think is going to win basketball. But then we'll also do a group baseball one. We need to pick our 6-weekend series for next week, and we need to preview the midweek. Let's do that real fast. So,
all right.
Go ahead, Dimitri, and what was I going to say? Share your screen. Pull up Warren Nolan, where we are official sponsors of WarrenNolan.com. All right, what do we got here? You might need to zoom in. No, I can see it.
That's an upset.
Troy UAB at 2:00 on Tuesday.
Wait, hold on. I'll make it even better for you guys. Hold on.
There we go.
How's that?
This is great.
Perfect.
Does UTSA complete the Texas A&M sweep?
The Infinity Stone? Yeah, they do it. 1:00.
They lost to Dallas Baptist this past weekend. So
Catch the Longhorns sleeping.
Hey, Troy UAB. I like the series
Mm-hmm.
or that game.
Anything else?
I've got. We'll be in the building for College of Charleston, South Carolina, in Columbia at a minor league ballpark, Segra. It'll be fun. Wake Liberty, Power 4 Killers.
Speaking of Wake Forest, they dog walked Miami all weekend. I know they walked them off on Saturday. That was the closest game they had, but they dog walked them all weekend. I mean, when we can change
it is a walk-off.
Very good point.
Very good point.
I'm not seeing a lot of great games here.
It's going into conference play. Everybody wants a cakewalk.
East Carolina, UNCW, App State, Charlotte, Mercer, Florida State.
Shout out those Mountaineers. They swept Texas State this past weekend.
Yeah, they did. Hey, I'm gonna throw my card. Mercer beats Florida State on Tuesday.
That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it is. Watch. Mercer will throw their Friday guy.
All right, let's put a hypothetical wager on this, Ben. What's the wager for Wednesday's show?
You got to make it even. You got to make it even.
That's probably gonna be like plus 800.
Yeah. So how about this, Ben? How about this? How about you and I make a wager? Because I actually believe in this game. I think the Citadel has more of a chance to beat Clemson than Mercer does Florida State.
Deal done.
So what would you like? Like what, our Uber Eats bet?
Yeah, I like an Uber Eats bet. Yeah.
Uber Eats bet. Okay.
All right.
Like
So,
it.
So is it just like who's closer?
No, well, yeah, no, because then it gets dicey. No, we'll just if someone was able to pull it off.
yeah, somebody has to win for the
Yeah,
bet.
no win, no bet.
And you order the Uber Eats bet within the first 5 minutes of Wednesday's show, so it gets delivered at the end of the show.
I like it.
During the show.
I like it.
You show what your order is, and you tell the other person what you want, and they order it. Beautiful.
I'm going Panda Express orange chicken.
All right. Oh, East Tennessee State, Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Click on the ETSU resume. They hit nukes, dude. Let's see. Swept Northern Kentucky 2 out of 3 against Miami, Ohio. Oh, I remember that Virginia Tech game. It was pretty good.
Yep.
They beat Pitt 2 out of 3. They played Georgia tough too.
Georgia plays everybody tough.
Guys, that reminds me. I tweeted it out today. Georgia has given up 3+ runs in the first 4 innings of 15 out of the 23 games they've played this year. Finding 3 competent starters. This team is one of the best teams in the country. That offense.
They still are. And they still are one of the best teams in the country. It's crazy.
But that team, I'm talking like they're in the LSU conversation. They're in that.
Yeah.
Like they're in that upper stratosphere. Like this team is so good if they can just find pitching in the first 5 innings.
Wes Johnson's a savage.
Don't care about this game at all. FAU will win this game. Stetson UCF is a fun one. South Carolina Charleston.
TCU Dallas Baptist.
Oh, that's a
3 weeks ago, Dallas Baptist played Oklahoma. Last week they played Oklahoma State. This week they played TCU. I love it. I love it, Dallas Baptist.
Hey, what's the over-under for Austin P Tennessee Tech? 31?
13.5.
13.5?
Yeah.
What, first 5?
Oh. No, 19, these guys break.
How much?
Over 29.5.
How much would you take on the Nerfy in that game? Someone scoring first inning 100%.
Yeah. Dude, did you see my guy? I got to shout out Brody Sacco of Austin P. Hit a ball. It was like 464 today. But like, you know, like those ESPN Plus camera angles where it like stays camera high where it follows the ball right center field.
Yeah.
He flipped his bat so high that it ended up going in the camera angle. It was pretty awesome.
I thought we banned games at Pearl.
It'll never get – dude, those games will never get banned.
Yes.
They're going to keep playing it there in Pearl. At least they'll do an ESPN broadcast. Southern Miss, Ole Miss. Wait, go back up. Scroll up. Do you guys think Texas A&M can upset A&M Corpus Christi?
Dude, my ticket is going to be so off. What do you think they are right now?
40-1.
Do you think?
Wait, go back up. We're missing some good games.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are. Go back up.
We already talked about these games.
No. Right there. South Alabama, sneaky.
They just got swept by Georgia State. Just stop talking about them.
South Alabama. Go to their. They win every midweek, dude, and they've won every midweek for the last 10 years.
They lost to New Orleans. They got run ruled by New Orleans in a midweek. That sounds good.
Boys, we're getting that part of the podcast where we forget it's a podcast and it just becomes a YouTube show.
Ben, if a team does something one time, you just say they do it all the time.
It's because he was watching that one time.
I was watching that one time. No, go back and South Alabama midweeks last 5 years have got to be hitting 80%.
He thinks Liberty is like the ACC, like freaking
Killer.
Yeah, that's how my brain works. Ooh, Lamar Tulane's not bad.
Look, it's not that much.
Anyway,
dude, Oral Roberts against Arkansas, not bad.
Not bad.
Yo,
who did they lose a series to? Wait, who did Oral Roberts lose a series to this week?
Oral Roberts?
Yeah, they're 1-2 in conference play.
That's not good for all of our picks.
Oh,
North Dakota State.
4-14.
That's just tough. That's just brutal.
That was good podcast listening. Like that was like in a row.
Kansas, Arizona. USC, Arizona State.
Mountaineers.
That was not bad. Yeah.
Well, let's see if Wednesday. This slate is very average.
I'm seeing nothing. Nothing that I like.
I'm seeing absolutely nothing.
Guys,
Richmond, Virginia, not bad, but
by the way, I curse UConn. The year I decided to jump on the bandwagon.
Oh, yeah.
They
All right,
got-
I did.
How good do you feel about the lion up here?
Oh, Louisiana at Southeastern Louisiana in Hammond. I could dig that.
dig.
Dude, awful midweek. Good midweek to catch up on other things on Tuesday and Wednesday night, in my opinion.
All right, let's pick our 6 weekend series here.
Yeah, hey, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, you guys might not be seeing a lot of tweets from us.
I told you guys we should have done a bracket. That was a brutal last 5 minutes of
The
podcast.
bracket would have been way better.
All
Way
right.
better.
Weekend series, Ben, do you want me to do your strategy and go to the bottom first?
Yeah, go to the bottom first.
Oh, my
There's
God.
Georgia, Florida, LSU,
There's-
Texas,
There's 3.
Tennessee, Alabama.
actually. Yeah, there's 3. Knock it out.
Oh,
Yo, let's go ahead and pick the whole entire SEC slate while we're at it.
Well, those 3 are must picks, dude.
LSU,
Kansas and Arizona State.
Wait. Slow down. LSU, Texas is a lock.
Yep.
Lock. Florida,
Tennessee
Georgia.
at Alabama's got to be a lock too, right? 20-0 versus 20-1.
God, do we have to do it again?
Yes, of course. It's so
This
good.
is Tennessee's first road game.
Yep.
True road game.
Should
Yeah.
I go? Yo, should I go? Should I go to Tuscaloosa?
Yes. Coach Vaughn said you could stay at his house. So yeah.
Dude, I'm a great roommate.
But Jack, you need to be in Tuscaloosa.
All right. I love that.
We'll send you. We'll send you however much the flight is and take care of it and go.
Teal Ninja. Knock the dust off.
I mean, is Georgia at Florida's got to be a weekend series pick 'em too.
Yeah, Florida's staying in the top
At
10.
Florida?
Swept, right? Book it.
Well, all right.
Kansas, Arizona State. That's a big one too.
Which one?
Kansas at Arizona State.
Arizona State's gonna smack that ass. Arizona
All right,
State is gonna.
we'll put it as a potential maybe.
All right. Dang, man! If I mean, is Indiana? What is Indiana? Are they good again?
No, not right now.
They're good. They're coming.
God, guys, it's time to cancel Ohio State. Send them back to the dungeon, to the pit.
No,
They look the same.
they don't look the same. You didn't watch. They got beaten extras again twice.
Irvine at Santa Barbara.
Oh, yeah, baby.
You're making some funny noises the last 10 minutes, Riz God.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Stop. We really only need one more series.
No, I have 3 locks.
I
What?
have 5.
What's the other one? What's the other one? Oh, Arizona State, Kansas at Arizona State.
For
Yep.
sure.
All right. Let's see here. What do we got in front of us? TCU.
I have LSU at Texas, Tennessee at Alabama, Georgia at Florida, Kansas at Arizona State, Irvine at UC Santa Barbara.
Hey, what about that TCU Texas Tech?
Not right now.
Coastal Troy. What are we doing here?
Coastal at Troy.
Those are 2 11.7 phenom programs right there.
Coastal at Troy. We love that.
This might be the weekend where we have like 10 series, like we always do.
This is going to be awesome because, by the way, everyone's forgetting this is the first week of March Madness, and it's going to be.
Oh, my God, Ben. Florida State at Miami.
Bleh.
Blah. Florida State sweeps.
How about McNeese at Southeastern Louisiana?
How
It's
about
not
Arizona at West Virginia?
Arizona at West Virginia. Write it down.
That's
Yeah.
a must. That's better than Arizona State, Kansas, in my opinion. Way better.
Me too. I think Arizona State smacks Kansas.
I think everyone will make that their survivor.
Anything else here? Keep going. We could find some.
Wake
Wake.
at Clemson.
Wake
There's-
at Clemson's got to be on the list too, baby.
Duke, Virginia put everybody through a brain blender. No idea what the hell to pick there.
Duke, Virginia was
All right.
preseason probably a top 5 series of the season, and now
Got it.
nobody's going to care.
Thank you.
Loser of Duke, Virginia is done. Cancel the season. Go start traveling out for summer ball.
I actually don't hate that take all the way.
Loser of the series is done.
It feels like a much more must-win for Duke than Virginia because, like, Virginia's got
Then Sanford at ETSU.
Yeah, low key Sanford at ETSU is a banger series.
banger.
Yeah, we don't need any more. Why are we still scrolling? We don't need
Because
any.
we might see something better.
What about Long Island, Del State?
I'm not seeing anything better. Now, what we do need to check Thursday. Make sure none of these SEC series is a Thursday.
Good.
Because then we could get rid of one.
Good thinking, Ben.
And nope.
And Vandy.
All
And
right.
Vandy on Thursday, Florida State, Miami, and BYU, Cincinnati. But okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 series. You just want to do 8 this week?
No. That's too much work for me. This is a bad week for me to have more work. It's a bad
All right.
week.
Well, then let's cross off Kansas and Arizona State.
Yep. All right. Let's do this. LSU, Texas. That's a lock, right?
Yep.
Lock.
See Alabama, lock.
Yep.
Lock.
Irvine and Santa Barbara, lock.
Yep.
All right. So that's 3. We need 3 more.
Coastal
Back-
Troy, lock.
Still at Troy, lock. I think Wake Forest at Clemson should be a lock.
Yeah, show some ACC love. So you're leaving off Georgia, Florida. That's fine. Two mid majors and ACC.
Wait. No, we have one more. We got to pick between Arizona at West Virginia and Georgia at Florida. I think we already have 2 SEC series. We don't need another one.
Arizona, West Virginia. I like that series a lot. I think people will be split on it.
Yep. All right. What do you think, Ben? You good with that?
Yep. Let's run. Yep. Let's do it.
LSU, Texas,
Now,
Tennessee,
wait.
at Alabama.
This is going to be in 6 weekends. West Virginia is going to be. This is their 3rd time in it. Does that matter?
Is it really?
Wait. Which one? What? No. Why? We had them West Virginia, Jacksonville. Did we have that one?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
I
And then when did we
tweeted the
put out-
graphic the other day.
Oh, you know what? We're putting West Virginia in this week because their series with Oklahoma State got banged. So this is their replacement. This is only their
Okay.
second.
Fair enough.
Beautiful. Talk about a loaded pick'em. That's a loaded slate right there.
This is the weekend Ben gets back. Back over 500.
I need it, dude. I suck.
All right, boys.
You should have Brooks pick all your
Wrap it up.
All right. Yeah, we've really been done for 20 minutes now. But anyways, appreciate everybody for listening. We'll be back Wednesday. Dimitri will be in a different country. Who knows where Jack will be? And I pinky promise I will watch more college baseball this week than last week. But anyways, love you guys. We'll see you on Wednesday.